Hello, brothers and sisters. Hey, thanks for joining me again today. This is going to be another quick video on thoughts about Charlie Kirk. And what I've been doing is watching Charlie Kirk videos because I keep hearing all these things. He's a racist, he's a misogynist, he wants to kill black and trans people, and he's a cancer, things like that. Before he was killed, that really wasn't my view of him from just the very short things I'd seen on TV about him or elsewhere. But I didn't know. So I thought I'd watch some Charlie Kirk videos and see. So I found this one where he's really talking about the Civil Rights Act, because I've seen that he's a racist and he hates black people because he was against the Civil Rights Act. So here's one that I found, and let's see what he has to say about the Civil Rights Act. You guys be the judge. Because I do think it's important to actually watch his actual videos in context instead of just listening to what other people say and then forming opinions. That's just how I do things.
Do you support the Civil Rights Act?
In spirit, but not how it's written.
Why?
It's too broad and paved its way for the persecution. For example, they're using the Civil Rights Act to put men in locker rooms like Riley was in.
How? Which article?
Article 4 or 5, I think. I actually don't know specifically, but the Civil Rights Act is being used for by the trans movement right now as because they say that they are women, therefore they demand an accommodation of women's rights. Riley can riff on this. They're using the Civil Rights Act literally to have access into female locker rooms.
So what would you change about the Civil Rights Act?
I wouldn't make it as broad. I would make it much more crisp and concrete, and I wouldn't have it necessarily. I would also get rid of the disparate impact component of the Civil Rights Act. So the biggest problem with the Civil Rights Act, there's 4 components of the beast of anti-racism. There's affirmative action, DEI, disparate impact, and then, of course, there's a fourth that I'll remember in a second, which is basically disparate impact is that it must be racism if 2 different groups have different outcomes, which, of course, is outrageous. Disparate impact is the legal theory that undergirds most of the enforcement of the Civil Rights Act.
All right, so that's what Charlie had to say about the Civil Rights Act. And I've heard he was racist because he didn't like it, but what I just heard was he thinks it needs to be tighter. His main complaint about it was being used too broadly. It sounds like one of his big complaints with it is that trans groups were using it in, say, sports to get into women's locker rooms. And I'm sure he brought that example up because he had Riley Gaines, who was an actual victim of that, with him. I didn't really see anything negative there about black folk. I think he also said it was outrageous that just because people have different outcomes, that must be racism. I completely agree with that. If you go to better schools, you're going to have a different outcome. If your father's rich, you're going to have a better outcome. If you grow up in a stable family with a mom and a dad, you're going to have a better outcome than if you're in a single parent home. None of these things are actually racist, I don't think. So I actually agree with most of what he just said there. Tell me in the comments, what do you think? Him being against the Civil Rights Act, is it racist? I didn't hear that. Thanks. Bye.